Whew, live and kicking as always, man. Sunday night, a week goes quick. 6 days actually, because the last stream was done on a Saturday. Welcome back. It's back to being on Sunday night. And it's actually the last Sunday night Tech and Chill show unplugged in this location. Yeah, I'll be moving out, which is good. I cannot wait. This is like the best start to 2018. What am I saying 2018 for? Best start to 2020, man. New month, new decade, new year. I'll be in a new set, new location, which is something I'm really, really looking forward to. So next weekend, there will most likely not be a live stream because we need to be packed and moved and gone. But this is the last one in this location. So welcome back. I'm your host, Ben, from the Lover of Tech channel. As you know, UK based tech channel. Pretty much talk about consumer tech, mobile phones, laptops, and also cameras, which I'm going to derive off from the different channel. But while things are popping off here, we will be talking some camera talk today. Kind of some rumors and also things that I really have caught my eye on. If you guys have been following me on Twitter and the Instagrams, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to cameras. But again, welcome to the show. We're gonna have a good one. We're definitely gonna have a good one. We are definitely gonna have a good one. And I always say this, man, anyone that's free, any of my content creator guys that are free, you want to hop on, feel free. But just know that strictly I run on literally like an hour, tops 1.5 hours, man, and then I'm done. So yeah, that is it. Let's go into the comment section and see who's here. Who's here? The Mr. Wildman himself, Mr. Damien Wild. He's usually my unofficial co-host, but he's been shagging me lately. Too busy. I've told him I've written him off. I'm gonna get his dog in as my co-host. Damien, watch yourself. Welcome into the house, Damien. What's good, bro? Sean B in the house. What's good, man? Sean dropped a new video. Go check it. Tech Fuses. What's good, Rakubu? Tech Fuses in the house. Apple Monster, hello. Alex Langley, Tech Focus in the house. What's good, man? Oh, man, we got a good squad in here. So, guys, I'm going to tweet this out to say that we're live. If anyone else can tweet it out to say that the Tech and Chill show is on, we are live. Unplugged. Unplugged. Teching and chilling. Boom. Come join in crispy 4K UHD. Retweet. Boom. Bang. Bam. The shade. Best know. There's lots of shade, brother. Make sure the lips are not dry, obviously. Whew. Okay. Bottle of water. I already had my hot chocolate and my sandwich because I was kind of hungry, so. Yeah, so thank you all that have joined so far. As you know, the stream is brought to you live in crispy 4K UHD, so click that gear icon, select 1080p, select higher, go to 1440p if you have the device that supports it, and even further, if you're on a desktop or you have a smartphone that actually has a 4K UHD display, which some smartphones do, the Sony ones, click that 2160p 4K UHD. Ooh, so, as you guys have seen, man, you guys have seen the first title. So tonight's tonight's topics are going to be definitely based around mainly mobile, but I also want to talk to my creators that actually are more into cameras as well, like actual cameras. You know, we're talking about mirrorless camera bodies and stuff. I know Alex Langley is going to definitely gonna like this topic because there's stuff he called me out on, but I'm going to stand my ground and explain what I said because there's a camera brand that's really already did impress me, but I think they've impressed me more based on the time that I realized that they brought out that particular mirrorless camera body. So we're going to discuss about it and kind of, you know, share opinions on that, which would be really good. Tech for you needs, what's good? We need to do a stream on sensitive people defending YouTubers. It's like that, man. I don't mind. I don't mind. But by the time you guys are free, man, it's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. You guys, oh, so much energy. I'm around the clock with you lot in USA. So, um, yeah. So I try to, especially in the mobile phone scene, mainly in the mobile phone scene. I think in the camera scene, like I don't mind that much, but mainly in the mobile phone scenes, I really try to avoid talking about any leaks or rumors because I just like talking about official stuff, you know. Um, um, Definitely gonna be open to hearing more in-depth explanation. I'll be chilled this time. No. I don't mind not being chilled. Like I actually that thread conversation that we had on cameras, I like those conversations. Those are healthy. Like we can bring points forward and it shows everyone's creative mind processes in terms of the priority of the tools. So like yeah. Hello bro. Yes, man like Rick Aqua in the house. What's good, Rick? What's good, bro? But before we go ahead, I've tuned the fan noise. Please let me know, is the background noise okay? Are you guys picking up the sound with me? I can see the metering and stuff and everything sounds good, but just let me know everything's in sync. I know it should be, but I always like to make sure. So click sync, click sync, click sync, click sync, click sync, click sync. Right, if it sounds good, let me know. Ben, you ugly you know, Adrian, you are foul AF. How about that? You are foul AF. You ain't slick, Adrian. I know you. Look at your bottom lip. What's wrong with my bottom lip? I even put for look, don't bring your petty energy in here. Don't. I've even got Vaseline right here. I cream my hands. I make sure my face ain't dry. Like you have no reason to hot me up. Don't start. Do not even. Don't even start. Don't. Do you see this is? Do you see the level of negativity already just brewing in there? It ain't cracked. I put Vaseline. Don't even come. Adrian, honestly, lotion 22. You know what, yeah? I'm who are the moderators? Ban, Adrian, Ban, Sean's still he's still right. He's on thin ice though, he's still Trenton definitely cancel him. Moderators, get onto them quick. I flipping hate you guys so much. You lot are so wild. Because they was cracked. No, they weren't cracked. I'll put always. This girl. Nah, I'm not. I'm no. You ain't been keeping moisture. They're so fake. The bottom lip looks you know, yeah. I don't have energy for you. You know. Like, do one. It's so petty. Hey, we got the whole crew here. What's good, Kimmy? Hey, welcome. Alright, man. We're gonna chop bread. We're gonna discuss. We're gonna have some fun as well, man. There'll be. I feel like the comment section is gonna be very interactive and very distracting already. So best believe. Damn, Ben, you had to think about canceling me. Vaseline 20. Trenton, stop typing like that. The caps with the space makes it look too legit. Like, no. What did Sean say? Don't maybe take a screenshot of that lip. Hey, big bro like Tanner already. Bro, man. Tanner's literally like the most supportive brother you can have, man. Appreciate you coming through, big bro. And for the support, always. Love. Yeah, what you lot need to be like Tanner. Yeah, Adrian, Trenton, Sean. Sean, you're good. You're still. Get that screenshot of putting onto it. Why? Why do you have to be so foul? Damn, but you have to think about cancelling me? Yeah, damn right. You're goddamn right. I don't like Ben and it's crackling. You lot, yeah. You lot, bro, I appreciate the love, man. It's like, Sean B. You lot go check out Sean B's new video. Appreciate it. Nah, I appreciate you guys, man, for real. I got that screenshot point onto it. You lot, you, you lot are so petty, and I'm all for it as well. I approve. I approve. Oh man, I can't deal. I can't deal. All right, as Uncle Ruckus would say before the exorcism, let's get this party started. Right, man, let's kick it up again. So, as you guys have seen by the title, man, I feel like that's kind of like a new thing companies are doing, which I'm all for because I like a bit of damage control around leaks, right? So we'll talk more official stuff. We're gonna talk more official stuff, and it's on the Twitter timeline. You know what? I'm not even gonna look at it now because I actually need to get on with the topics, Adrian. Stop distracting. The people came for tech, you know, news and discussions, not for your pettiness alone. Um, yeah. So OnePlus, and I think a lot. I mean, off the back of what they did with the Concept One, Google did this to the extreme. But I kind of like what companies are doing with kind of managing the damage control around leaks and how leaks get out of hand and stuff. You know, so again, like I said, when it comes to the mobile scene, I like to really talk about as many official things as possible, and especially when companies officially talk about things that are coming in their new products. You know, it's good. It's good. It kind of gives you insight on whether there's certain things that are worth it in terms of their improvement. And one of the things that you know they were really having to break down and talk about was what is upcoming in their new display technology. So yeah, man, OnePlus looks like we're getting 120 hertz display on the next OnePlus device. I'm all for it, assuming battery life is good, which is also going to be another point of discussion in what it's going to be. So there's like a deep dive article that they've got going there, which I'll pull up and have a look at in a minute. Oh, this one is another one as well. That's going to be camera talk later. I'll come back to that tweet. The CEO of OnePlus as well, Pete Lau. 120 hertz is exciting. We want to focus on what the specs can do for you. We are pushing display to be smoother, more accurate, and easier on the eyes. You will understand what we mean. We will say can't go back after using OnePlus. Interesting. So same deep dive one. So we'll look through the article in a minute. It says there's a thread here that I'm going to read through quickly as possible. Shout out to Fox Tech. Part of it says rumors says Samsung really are going to cancel the quad high definition and 120 hertz on the S20 series models. Seems like there's been problems with it, so they chose to go with either 120 hertz at full high definition, which is 1080p, over 60 hertz. So, that's going to be interesting. And also, they went as far as actually showing a demo of 60 versus 120 hertz, and it's done again by Pete Lau himself. So that just further cements that 120 hertz is coming. But they've also got a technology called MEMC. So it's a chip in there that I think it interpolates and infills content to match to the higher frame rate for it to look that way. I don't know if people are going to be in favor of that or not, but so long as it's something that you can turn on and off, that'll be very interesting as well. And also Mr. Cat himself, Ice Universe. Currently known mobile phones with WQHD 120 hertz OLED screen in the hardware space. It's going to be the Galaxy S20 series, Samsung, OnePlus 8 Pro, Oppo Find X, and this is just hardware capability, but whether it's enabled, that's going to be another story. So that's going to be a very interesting one. Let's look at the article first at hand. Let me just pull that through. So it's not actually an article, but it's more of a thread poll. Let's look at it. So this was posted by Pete, Mr. CEO himself. So this is really taking things up to the next level. 120 hertz. Obviously, OnePlus were the first to really do the 2K plus 90 hertz display on AMOLED, which is really, really good to see. And it's talking about having a peak brightness of 1000 nits, as well as having a touch response. I don't think most people realize the actual touch response on the 7T series and the 7 Pro was actually 135 hertz, one of the highest touch responses that you can get on a phone, which is something that really helped with the accuracy of, you know, interacting with the display input. Research and development is something that they really put into their displays. It's partnership with Samsung again. You know, 120 hertz. We're looking at it. And, you know, we talked about after numerous system optimizations. So let's just highlight so it's easy to see. After numerous system optimization, many major apps will now be able to take full advantage of the 120 Hz refresh rate, but for videos, there's an additional hurdle. Most video content is still produced in either 24 frames or 30 frames, with a small proportion of content at 60 frames a second. Absolutely correct. To address the problem, we are including an MEMC technology to deliver smoother video playback. This is featured in high-end TVs, real-time algorithm adjustments to insert, exactly, so it's interpolation. So it's to insert additional frames to a video file, enabling smoother shot at 24. Okay. I don't know if people are going to be in favor of that, how it's going to look, but it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. All right, so we're looking at also a 10-bit color display. Interesting. So that's going to be really, really something that's going to help with displaying billions of colors. If you know about bit depth, you know, that's something that's, you know, going to be really good. And it's really taking fast and smooth to the next level. Obviously to be expected. Let's minimize this. All right, let's go over to this thread. So, all right, so while the display refresh rate itself is 120 hertz, we won't stop there. New display is 124 hertz, 240 hertz. Yes, 240 times per second, industry high in responsiveness. So obviously the refresh rate is for what your eyes see, but the touch response can also go higher than the refresh rate, which is really, really good. Let's see what's sorry I can't stay for the whole thing. Out of the family today, but finally saw one of your streams was live. Keep up with the great work. No, I appreciate that every day, Dad, man. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming through, Gary. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, so no, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming through. So that's another thing. It's in partnership with Samsung, so 1000 nits plus. Really going to be interested to see what the sustained brightness is, not just peak brightness for HDR situation. We talked about MEMC, the chip that's built onto it. Obviously a 10-bit display. Great color calibration, which is something I believe because they really do have color accurate displays. So it looks like that is the progression. It does look like that's the progression. Now I'm gonna come over to this because it does look like with this is official. So what's good about what OnePlus have put out is official. It's official news. It's 100% official news, and it's something that's coming, and we should be expecting to see that very soon, as well as expecting to see that very soon from when they're demonstrating it here, right? And you're seeing, you know, them actually putting it out there. Then you can tell that this is something that they've worked on, they've pretty much perfected, they've done conferences behind closed doors. It's something that is coming, you know, and it's something that it looks like confidently they are able to 100% pull off not just the fact that they're doing 120 hertz, but they're also going to be able to maintain not just an AMOLED panel, high brightness, as well as high resolution, which is, wow, okay. Battery. Because the reason why I say this is, there's been a lot of speculation, and it's not even speculation. There's some guy called Max Weinbach, or whatever his name is. I think he's with XD Developers, and he's been leaking the S20 series like, whoa. Like, you could not hire a plumber to stop those leaks. You could not hire a plumber to stop those leaks. And, I mean, it is what it is, but it's kind of extreme how the leaks have been happening, to be fair. It looks like quad high definition plus, as well as 120 hertz on the AMOLED panel that Samsung are doing, are not mutually exclusive. They're not working together. It's either going to be one or the other. So if you go 120 hertz, you're going to be on a high definition, full high definition, which is 1080p. If you go quad high definition, you're going to drop down to 60 hertz, not even 90 hertz. So it's not a hardware limitation. I feel like maybe Samsung have done that because of battery optimizations. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see what the explanation is. But if it is true, it's not going to be that the hardware is not there. It's going to be that they've made a conscious decision not to enable it. Because a company like Razer, with the Razer Phone 1 and Razer Phone 2, obviously did quad high definition as well as 120 hertz together, but they did it on a TFT LCD panel, which is old screen technology in a way compared to AMOLED. Now, you can do both, but I don't know whether they're doing this because of just battery management. We don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But it looks like OnePlus could potentially take the display crown again, because it looks like they're going to be able to enable all those things with obviously having the MEMC chip in there for inserting an interpolation of smoother frames on lower frame rate, content. Having a high brightness display as well, it being based on Super AMOLED or dynamic or fluid AMOLED technology, as well as being high resolution for pin sharp clarity when you're pretty much going through every part of the UI and watching apps. So, it's just interesting. It's just interesting. I'm excited for it. The reason why I say that is that I think a lot of people are downplaying how useful high refresh rate is. I was using an S10e the other day, and I genuinely thought that it was a low-end phone I was using. And I know it sounds weird, maybe because I'm more of a person that prioritizes having the best display experience because I consume a lot of media on the display compared to having the super ultimate camera experience. And it's not to say the camera experience is not important, it really is. But I think how I go through the process of taking my photography with having a proper mirrorless camera maybe doesn't make me lean on my smartphone as much. Maybe it doesn't. That's just probably me. Not to downplay that. Obviously, the smartphone is important because pretty much nowadays, the smartphone is the only camera that people have. Not many people in their homes. I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people don't have a dedicated, point and shoot camera, whether it's full frame, APS-C, micro four thirds, or 1-inch point and shoot that they use as their dedicated camera at home. They just rely on their smartphones. So needing a smartphone to be really good for pictures is really, really important. It just is. And it's the most popular feature. Is it the most important? But it's the most popular feature on a smartphone that people care about when they're buying it, especially on the high end, So it's important. I mean, the S10e felt slow, and it's not because it's a slow phone. It just felt slow because I was like, you get used to 90 hertz and you're thinking, okay, yeah, that's how it is. But actually, a lot of phones running at 60 hertz just feel a bit ancient. So I kind of like the idea that we're moving to 120 hertz. I just hope that these second generation chipsets are still on 7 nanometers, right? I hope whatever's in there, they do whatever they need to do to make sure that they optimize for the battery well, because they were able to do it. Not perfect, but if you look at the 7T series, the battery optimization on here is really, really good for what you're getting when it comes to the brightness, obviously the display, and also the refresh rate as well. They really pulled it off on the 7T Pro and the 7 Pro and the McLaren series as well. But this is at the cusp where you are really, really pushing it in terms of what amount of strain that you're putting on the battery. And then I think they need to consider making sure that they've at least got somewhere between a 4,300 milliamp hour battery to a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in the larger version of whatever new phone is coming out in regards to OnePlus, if they're showcasing this tech. So that's my opinion. Not just in terms of the capacity, we just hope that, you know, the new Snapdragon chipsets that are in there really manage battery well. I think it would be easier to have full confidence to be like, hey, if it was on a 6 or 5 nanometer chipset, boom, definitely going to be efficient. It's still on a 7 nanometer chipset, which is not bad. It's still cutting edge, but, you know, yeah. So, I mean, my opinion is that for me, high refresh rate is important. The only problem is that the metric of measurement of hertz, it's just something that hasn't really been educated to the public. I think telling people why a display at high refresh rate is so important, bar gaming, is still a very difficult thing to really be going through. It's something that generally you can't really see online. It's something that you have to 100% experience for yourself. And I know slow motion comparison videos like what you're seeing there kind of help to paint a better scene, but it's not the same as when you're watching a video or you're watching pictures of how a phone's camera performs, right? And that's a very easier way for someone to see, oh, this is why I benefit from having a really good camera. When you show this, it's a decent enough indication, but it's much more impactful when they experience it in hand. And I think the impact from going from 60 to 120 is going to be much bigger than going from 60 to 90. Ryan Thomas did an experiment with what you call Android Authority, where he did a blind test of people seeing the same phone with 60 and 90 hertz. And sometimes it's obviously the skew of people that you use, but not too many of them could tell the difference, right? So I think the bigger jump to 120 from a lot of people that are used to using 60 hertz displays, it's going to be a bit more noticeable, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And we should look forward to more technologies being showcased and more features being showcased. And of course, we're all going to be eager to see what the cameras are going to be like. And I think they will showcase that when the time comes. And we're hoping for something that will really knock it out of the park for OnePlus and really put them on a map where, you know, even if it falls short a little, it doesn't fall short too much where it's like, oh, actually, not again, you know? So right out the gate, we should hopefully be expecting something to be really looking good. So that's about it. Let me go into the comment section. Wow, you guys went hard in the comment section, man. Damn. Okay. Tanner's lit. Sup, Tanner? Stop it, Ben. Nah, man, it's these lot screenshots on Twitter. I'm not even ready to look on the timeline, Adrian. I'm really not. I'm really even not. Like, you've been trying to just troll and break my flow. I'm not even trying to look. It will upscale to 120. Yeah, used it on the TV and it's nice. Okay, I'm open to seeing how it looks like. I don't know if it's. I don't want to be like, because obviously the intended frame rate of what you're meant to be seeing is how you want the content to look like. So if there's any technology that's trying to make it look the opposite way, I don't know. So I'm eager to see. So long as there's an option to turn it on and off, I'll be eager to try that out. I'll be eager to see how it interpolates and inserts frames to match the refresh rate. And I hope also OnePlus do the good job of not hiding things in developer settings like what Google did with the Pixel 4 series. But I'm hoping that you do have the option to scale down from 120 to 90 hertz. You do have the option to go from 90 to 60 hertz. Just give people the option. It was really nice to go into the display. You can scale down the resolution. You can also make the resolution automatically scale per app. Hopefully you should have that option as well. Everyday dad, thanks, but no, that's it. Should compare to 90 hertz. Yeah, I mean, you should, but I think most of the common case of how it looks better is compared to 60. OnePlus is even set to go no lower than 90 hertz for future phones. Yeah, they said that before in the 70 series keynote that all future OnePlus phones will not be anything less than 90 hertz, which is good. It's good. It raises the bar. It sets the standard. And companies like Realme are also doing that with a lot of their phones, which is really, really great to see. Dr. Donald Walter, good morning all. Hello. Technically T, what's good, bro? Bro, tell Adrian and all her pettiness to get out. What's good, T? Welcome. The Realme XT Pro has a 90 hertz refresh rate. I think I'm in love, and the phone, is a cheap date too. I love that. That's a really good one. That is 100% true. I agree. The screen would be nice, but give me the OnePlus concept design. Bro, I love that concept one. Love it. Love it. That concept one design is functionally swaggerlicious. That's what I like to put on it, man. Literally, it's on point. It's on point. That is real good premium design. I'm all for that. Using 90 hertz and going to 60 just feels slow, even with animations. Yeah, it's just weird. You think it's a placebo effect, but I was extensively using the S10e, and I even put the animations down to 0.5, and I was like, this phone just feels slow. And I was like, wow, you get used to 90 hertz, but then you go back and it's like, yeah. So I'm all for it. I'm genuinely all for the increase. I have a video talking about this hertz war out here. I don't agree with it. Yeah, no, I'll be eager to share it, because obviously I know someone like UT, your priority is not the display experience. Your priority is making sure that you have the best camera experience. But I do think having less eye strain and having a smoother display experience, it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's something that should be considered in terms of having a better display experience. Like, I will eventually get a MacBook. I've discussed it before why I'm going to be getting a MacBook eventually. It's not priority now because my Gigabyte Aero 15 Watt is great. But one thing I'm not going to miss about having a MacBook is not having the option of having a high refresh rate display. Having a high refresh rate display on my laptop just makes it so much better when I'm using it. Less eye strain. It feels snappier. It feels smoother. And I think display refresh rate should be a metric of measurement and feature that should be considered for high-end phones. I think it's important. You know, it's not what people thought they need, but it's once you have it and you experience it for a little while, you try and go back and you notice it. That's me personally. I think having a 60 hertz display going forward on phones that are costing so much, I don't think is a good look personally. I think 90 hertz at least, but I think definitely 120 hertz, if they can optimize it, keep improving it when it comes to battery performance, chipset efficiency, parts in there being more efficient, software optimizing better. I think 120 hertz is where it needs to pretty much be sailing at. I think anything above 120 hertz when it comes to refresh rates for your eyes to see, yeah, that's debatable. But I think 120, that's a good look. But it'll be good to still see the video. Sub, what's good, Jeremy? Dr. Don Water. Realme X2 Pro is by OnePlus. It's not. It's by Realme. Has a large battery, 1000 nits display. Color OS 7. It's not yet soon. Come 855 plus. Okay, tell me to shut up. Camera. No. It's similar to, but it's still Realme's phone. Days one. People are looking at app compression versus actually smartphone smoothly. Yeah. And I'm having a blast. Yes, howdy. T can't tell me nothing. That's some Kanye energy there. You can't tell me nothing. Adrian's on Kanye energy. Adrian, you're actually so petty. Oh my days. These hidden cameras coming up to future OP devices, I think they're cool. I think having that look where it's completely flush. I'm with Trenton when he's saying this. That design of the Concept One is just boss level. You know, disappearing front-facing cameras, disappearing rear-facing cameras, where you can just flush it with the design. If you decide to have 7 or 8 cameras for your own reason because you feel there's a need for it, and you can hide all of them, and you can only deploy the ones that you need, I'm all for that, man. And I'm glad it acts as an ND filter. If they can communicate the benefit of having an ND filter, like having sunglasses for your phone to make sure that you can see, and if they can educate that and they can make it easy to deploy and not just in pro mode, which a lot of people don't use in pro mode, but if they can put it in the auto mode somehow, where you can have a bit more control of actually deploying it, I think it's a good look, man. I I like the electrochromatic glass that they're using. It's great tech. It's putting aesthetics and function into run, and I'm all for that, man. I'm all for that. Not to forget the Queen and King of Tech. Yes. Getting a MacBook Pro because you have, but no. I did a whole live stream on that, man. I did a whole live stream on why I'm eventually gonna get a MacBook, and it's not because, and I'm talking about MacBook Pro laptops, not desktop MacBook Pro laptops. I've got a video from Max Uriev. He did a very good video showcasing it, and I'll post it in there so you guys can see the points I'm making. 90 Hertz makes for a better overall user experience, in my opinion. I agree personally. I'm too in a phone at a certain price point. I'm too used to having high refresh rate to not have that experience, you know. And that's I think it's good for everyone in that high end. They just need to make sure they keep a lookout on battery, they optimize it well, and it's all good. Rumi is part of OnePlus, as is Oppo. No, it's BBK Electronics. BBK Electronics is the parent company, and then there's different subsidiaries. It's pretty much like what VW do. VW have different subsidiaries such as Lamborghini, such as Porsche, such as what you call it, Seat. You know, VW's got, you know, VW's got different subsidiaries underneath them. You know, Audi as well. The main company is BBK Electronics, but they're still their own separate entity. Wow, thank you for being so engaging, guys. It's been it's popping off. It is popping off. It is popping off. It is popping off. So that's my thoughts on. Again, this is official stuff mixed with some unofficial stuff. I think where Samsung might have something on their side is definitely, it looks like with all the megapixels that they're bringing into their front facing and their rear facing cameras for all the different variants of the S20 series, that camera is going to be something. That camera looks like it's going to be heat. But in terms of display, I think people will really question them that, hey, you make the displays for this company. How comes this company is able to enable all of this, but you're holding back and making certain things mutually exclusive? But again, they could change their mind. They could change their mind. Further down the line, they could add a software update that allows you to have quad high definition plus with 120 hertz at the same time, or quad high definition plus with 90 hertz. Then when you go to full high definition, you're at 120 hertz. Who knows? Who knows? The hardware's there. They could just decide to flick it on later on if they decide to. So it depends on how much noise the normal person buying these phones, or definitely the tech influencers or the tech scene, is going to make for Samsung to put an update through there. So it's interesting. It's interesting. The beneficial value, practical, useful features on phone, hiding the camera and high refresh rate. What does that do to increase my productivity? It does. I mean, if I'll give you an example. It's not just about the cameras hiding away. They've shown it that it behaves like having sunglasses on your phone. If it can give you the option that the smartphone sensor does not have enough dynamic range to be able to capture highlights and shadows because it's just too brightly exposed, right? If you can put an extra stop of ND and you can activate it with a press of a button easily, if you're not even in pro mode, that's more productive. You're ensuring that you're getting a better shot every single time. And you're ensuring that your phone has a class-leading design that is better than any other phone that is out there. It's unique. One, a high refresh rate. If you are a person that has any form of easy eye strain because of stutter, right? Your display on your smartphone is something that you use long periods of time next to other screens. If you can have a high refresh rate display that is responsive, smooth, and it doesn't strain your eyes when you look at it, and it gives you the fastest and smoothest experience when it comes to response, that's going to make you more productive. That's going to make you want to use your phone more. That's going to make sure that with the 240 hertz, touch response display, when you're typing and you're inputting stuff, you have less mistakes, you're faster, you're quicker, you are becoming more productive. If these phones are going to be costing X amount, 800, 900, 1,000, wouldn't you want every single detail of it to be as tightly knit as possible to give you that experience that really does separate itself from the mid-range phones, from the low-end phones? Because if not, then why are they charging so much if they're not going to be making sure that as much as they've got to really make the overall experience as fast, smooth, and tight-knit as possible worth it? That's where the productivity comes from. Answering your question, tech for your needs. Talik Patel, I've got a OnePlus 7T Pro. I love the screen and the 90 hertz, but most of the time with 60 hertz, I'm fine with it, to be honest. Yeah, which is good. Which is good. The thing is, it's good, right? Options. You've got it you can tap into it. If you want to reduce it, you can. That's why I'm saying that I hope that they still stick to that, because everyone's use case is different, and you want to be able to cater to that use case to be able to have the best experience for yourself possible. But I think it's worth having that there so you can tap into it. I think Samsung will have 120 hertz. No, so from what we're hearing with the Note 20 series, the S20 series, let's just say the S20 series, the 120 hertz and the quad high definition is there. They're just not mutually, like they're not, they don't work in tandem. It's either or. You can tap into either or. And it's not a hardware issue. They've software limited that because they're trying to most likely manage battery. And that's what we can assume until it comes out. It's something that they can switch on. They can. It's obvious they can, you know? Exactly. If we pay premium price, then give us the higher end options. That's it. That's my argument, because then we know these manufacturers are not going to reduce the prices. We can make noise that reduce the prices because we don't need these features. We don't want this. We don't want this. We don't want that. They're not going to reduce the prices. So let's try and hold them accountable that if you're not going to reduce the prices, develop and put the R&D into places that matters to our user experience. Display is important, battery life is important, camera is important, performance is important, and also at that high-end price, you want to make sure you have a product that is built well and looks good. That's also important. Amongst other things, those 5 things should be the pillars of making sure that if you're going to charge me £1,000 or more, you best believe that I want the best display experience. Even if I don't know the features now, I need you to be adding features that are not gimmicky and they're relevant to making sure that my display experience is as good as it needs to be. Like the MEMC tech. That's something that I've known of, but I'm like, okay, I didn't know you could pull this off in a smartphone. Educate me, show me and tell me why that's beneficial to why, you know, my £1,000 phone needs to have this feature and give me the better experience. Now it's up to you to educate me. If you think it's good, educate me and make me believe that it's not a gimmick. And if I can believe it, wow, it makes sense why it costs that much. If you're saying 120 hertz is, educate me. You know? So, 120 hertz for the Note. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, let me check my Twitter so I can get Adrian off my back. Let me retweet that. Keep these little if you. Oh man, Adrian. Adrian, you're wild. The way you're spamming me as well. You troll. Spamming me. Adrian, you're actually wild, bruv. So, hello, Petty. Nah. Nah. You lot are wild. You lot are so wild. Alright, quick intermission. Boom. Sunday night's Tech and Chill show brought to you by your host Ben from the Lover of Tech channel. As you guys know, this stream is brought to you live in crispy 4K UHD. So, click that gear icon, man. Select 1080p. Heck, select 1440p depending on what devices you have. And if you're on the desktop or some devices on a mobile that have a 4K UHD display, click that 2160p 4K UHD. Bang. Digging it. She ain't got nothing else better to do. MCP in the house. What's good, Trav? What's oh, mate. This is what... Oh, man. The level of engagement tonight is hella wild. I can't with you lot. So let's put that as the first topic was pretty much 2 topics into one. OnePlus officially announced in 120 hertz and what they're doing with their technology that is not just about the refresh rate. It's about everything that goes around the refresh rate, maintaining a color accurate display, keeping it on an AMOLED panel still, making sure it's a bright display in terms of peak brightness, making sure it's still high resolution, and also making sure that the touch response is class leading at 240 hertz input touch response, and also having frame insertion or frame interpolation with MEMC technology to make content that is not in 120 hertz or high refresh rate look like as if it is, to match the smoothness and the pacing of the display. And also with the S20 series, the decisions that they're potentially making to not enable quad high definition plus alongside 120 hertz as well, which is going to be very interesting to see, and what their priorities are, which is really bringing out a heavy juggernaut camera system. Now, that's going to cue into cameras. So pause to all my mobile phone guys. If you are not into serious camera talk, I'm going to ask you to be patient, try listening. It's going to go quite fast. And, you know, I kind of want to show a bit of appreciation to a camera that I was already impressed with from the get-go, to be fair. But I think as I've sat down, you know, I'll kind of insight on the camera that I use, why I use the camera, and obviously what's been catching my eye. In 2020, lots of things are coming out in terms of camera rumors when it comes to different manufacturers that are going to be there bringing out stuff, which is going to be very interesting. So I am, okay, let me see if I've missed anything. Intermission popcorn. Don't do this, Travis. Hey, yo, just dropping back to see what's up. Yes, we just pretty much talked about, again, you probably heard it, like OnePlus with their 120 hertz, as well as, you know, some of the things on the S20 series. But again, nothing's official. Well, if you're Max Weinberg, then yeah, things are official. Unpacked is not that far. I could wait. What are the nits? Nits is just a measurement of brightness output on the display. In terms of what the exact brightness output is going to be for the new OnePlus phones, all they've said is 1000 nits and plus, which is really good, but that's peak. We don't know what the sustained is. So I think right now the iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max pretty much have the best sustained brightness output on a phone right now, from what I believe, somewhere around 750 to 800 nits sustained, which is really impressive. But again, their panels are not exactly true quad high definition, one, and they run at 60 hertz, so there must be a lot more room in the display power wise to really push beyond 1000 nits, because theirs is about 1200 nits. I'm excited for the OnePlus 8. I'm very excited for the OnePlus 8, big time. I think they focus on the things that matter to me: outstanding software support, having a smooth and fast experience, as well as long-term support. At this minute, it looks like they're winning the display game. Their build quality is excellent. Look at the stuff that they're showcasing with the Concept One, as well as obviously their current device phones. Battery and their charging is really excellent. Camera subjective, but I think they do software support on cameras well enough that it's good enough for me. Not perfect. I would still want more, but it's good enough for me where I rock with it. I'm not making excuses for it. I'm not even talking about it's good enough for the price. It's good enough for me for how I use smartphone photography and video personally. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do to step it up. Okay, same as Romy. Max leaked so hard, all the drug dealers moved away from his neighbor. Fam, those leaks. I don't know. Unless he's getting paid a ridiculous amount, I just don't see the point. I know. Maybe I feel a bit old school, but leaks like that, it just spoils expectations for a device. It ruins the fun. And like for me, I was so glad I really did not know what the OnePlus Concept One was. I could have found out. If I really went harder, I could have found out everything about the Concept One, but I wanted to be surprised, and I'm glad that as the start of 2020 came, I was really surprised by how simple, elegant, and functional the showcase of the OnePlus Concept One was. And I'm looking forward to that kind of level of partnership with McLaren, which I always say it, bias, the best car company in the world. Shout out to all my car guys, you know what I'm talking about. I want to see more stuff like that, man. That's a good look. That's a good look, you know? That's a really good look. So, yeah. I want to start with the precedent of what I use to create. So I'm a Sony shooter. So I use the Sony Alpha A6400. I used that camera for several reasons, because I had a 6300 before, and I had to do a lot of workarounds with the 6300 to get it to where I wanted to do. I had to hack it to get unlimited recording. I had to use external battery and power solutions to manage the overheating. I had to always have it rigged up with a monitor because it didn't have a flip up screen like the 6400 has. And also I had to use a monitor to also audio monitor as well, because there isn't a built-in headphone jack in the camera body. 6400 is really, really good because it's such a big step up. Yes, based on the same principle, it uses the same accessories as the 6300, but it's got a flip up screen, it's got improved battery, it's got improved efficiency, it's got unlimited video recording in all the video recording modes. It's got a bright display that doesn't dim when you're shooting in 4K. It's got a lot of great things for it, and it's a camera I really, really, really like, but I don't love. It's still not a workhorse. I have to use it with the battery grip. So the battery grip is what gives me extra battery life, and it improves the ergonomics really, really well. So I will have a review on this on the camera channel once it's created. I'm just sorting out the artwork for it, and why I feel having this battery grip is essential if you're an A6400 user. This is from Newer. It allows you to have 2 batteries in there, which is really, really good, but it's unofficial, so it's not something from Sony that gives you outright communication with your camera. That's where I feel like with the current price drops right now, the A6600 is the best workhorse APS-C camera that you can buy for any situation, especially for YouTube, for several reasons. What it improves on the 6400 is it has a headphone port, meaning you can monitor audio, right? Anyone that knows about the Z battery, the Z battery is the best battery system on a mirrorless camera right now, even ahead of Canon's LPE6 batteries. And it improves the ergonomics so much that you do not need a battery grip for the A6600 at all. You don't. The grip on the A6600 feels amazing, like just when I held it in store, I was like, yeah, I want it. Flip screen, improved autofocus where it even works in real time with video, face, and IAF. In video, this only works with face only. Like, that's a bad thing. But with the 6600, you get the real-time tracking with IAF as well. And as much people like to slate it, it does have in-body image stabilization, or as Sony likes to call it, steady shots inside, which means great lenses like I use with Sigma, you know, still have stabilization. So for example, this is the 30mm f1.4 Sigma, part of the Holy Trinity. I've got the 16mm f1.4 that I'm using right now for the live stream. It means that lenses like that will have some form of level of stabilization, not just for video, but more importantly, when you're going to very slow shutter speeds, below 1/50th of a second. When you go to 1/30th, 1/20th, you're going to be able to get stabilization and less motion blur and a steady shot, especially in low light. When you open up the aperture, you don't have to bump up the ISO as much. You're going to get a cleaner shot and there's going to be less blur. That's where the IBIS comes in, and it's really, really useful. That is what makes the A6600 a workhorse and a camera to really, really like. And it's something that if it wasn't because of the middle of going through house change and all the money that's gone down for that and whatnot, that's a different story, whatever. That's the camera I'm definitely going to be changing to. Now, my current workflow is that if anyone's been following me on Instagram, I suggest you do lover-of-tech_BA. I've really been not just enjoying my photography, but I've been doing a lot of actual client work photography wise, which I don't know why I haven't posted some of the client stuff, because, you know, they've been posting on their Instagram. So I'm going to start putting the photography process of how I've added that to being a true hybrid shooter has been phenomenal. I'm genuinely enjoying the process of shooting in RAW, composing, from street photography to self photography to client photography, you know, working the process of going through Lightroom and building your own presets, using other people's presets to kind of see their workflow, and also learning how to obviously correct and grade your own work from scratch as well. Because I feel like that's the best way to learn. Learn your own way, get inspiration from others, and build your own. I think that's the three, and that's what I've been doing. I have no shame in admitting that great creators that I've followed have great presets that they've either given out for free or they've, you know, put out on discounts that are a great price. It supports them because you really like their work, especially someone like YC Imaging and Creative Ryan, guys that I've followed for ages. They used to do lots of sales and stuff for free, and I would pick that up, and it really helped me to learn that process, right? So, but at the same time, I'm the main videographer at church, and I use my own equipment as well as church equipment, because obviously my equipment is something I'm comfortable with and I can mix and match it through. You know, I need my stuff to be workhorse, and the A6600 is a workhorse APS-C camera, right? It by itself, apart from having a cold shoe relocator from someone like Small Rig, where the hot shoe doesn't block the selfie camera, right? That's the only accessory you need from it, bar all the other things like a lens, a memory card, and whatnot, right? It is the workhorse camera to get, but it's not perfect. And I was talking to Sagi from Tech Weird Talk, because he does a lot of good camera reviews, right? He goes in depth, really breaks it down. And I realized that the Sony A6600 still has a fundamental flaw that I really, really don't like. There seems to be a processing limit that Sony have either put internally in the camera or not. And this is some of the things I'm going to really, phase out, right? When you shoot in 4K UHD 24 frames a second, it uses the whole sensor, no crop. When you're going to 4K 30 frames a second, it doesn't super sample, it crops in 1.2 times. So you're not getting a full readout. 1.2 is forgivable, right? Same for 120 frames a second in 1080p. It does crop in 1.2 times. You still get the 100 megabits per second. But it does weird things, right? When you're in 4K now, like right now, I'm streaming in 4K, 24 frames a second, full sensor readout. It's going into my Elgato Camlink, and the face tracking AF is off. It doesn't work. But it's not just the fact that it doesn't work. If I was to hit the button to record and record internally while I'm plugged into a monitor in 4K, right? The screen blacks out and the face tracking doesn't work. When I'm in 1080p, no issue. Face tracking works, everything works. But in 4K, it doesn't. I think, oh, Ben, why are you making such a big deal of this? It's just the screen blackout. You can still read it on the external. No. When I'm broadcasting and recording internally to my camera for church for redundancy, we're also broadcasting externally to the media room, right? And when you're broadcasting externally to the media room or to the monitor, right, or even not to the monitor, the screen blacks out and you can't monitor. So then that means we have to revert back to 1080p because the screen blacks out. Now, it's annoying because at this time, I was at least expecting Sony to have incorporated something to fix that, and they have. If you look at the Sony A7R4, the A7R4 doesn't have any of those quirky problems, which is good. What that basically means is if you're recording in 4K, whether it's 4K 24 30 frames a second, you have an external monitor, it's still going to keep the face tracking and IAF on, and the screen doesn't black out when you record internally. That's how it should be. But that's something that is on their high-end camera that costs about £4,000. And if you look at a camera like the Fuji X-T3, that's what I wanted to talk about, because I did put out an unpopular tweet. And Alex Langley from Tech Focus, go check him out. That's my guy. He does bits when it comes to his channel. I did say that, unpopular opinion, the A6600 is a better overall camera and a better overall usable camera than the Fuji X-T3. And I stand by that, but I feel like I'm in love with the Fuji X-T3, and that makes me more excited for the Fuji X-T4. Here's the reason why. Let's switch the desktop and let's go over to Fuji Film. And let's look at the white paper. Products, digital cameras. What's the X system? X system mirrorless. Fuji X-T3 current flagship. Now, just to give perspective, the Fuji X-T3 is a mirrorless camera system, third generation by Fuji, X-mount APS-C, flagship. It came out. It was announced September the 20th, 2018. So it's almost. It's definitely a year and a half old. Pretty much a year and a half old, right? If we go to specs, is it specs? So 26.1 megapixel X-Trans sensor, really, really fast, great processing inside. One, it's using dual UHS-II card slots. So it's using the fastest SD card slots that you can get, and it's side mounted. Very important. There's a reason why I'm going to get to that. The shutter speed goes up to 1/8,000th of a second rather than 1,000th of a second, and it's very useful. I really realized that it's very useful to have the extra fast shutter speed, because obviously the shutter's fast, sensor readout's fast as well. continue shooting. I'm trying to look for the video white paper specs. Overview. So let me just look for the video specs, because that's the one that autofocus movie recording. Yes, that's the one. All right, let's look through. Now, this white paper, what it doesn't tell you necessarily is, let me zoom in a bit. Boom, boom. What the white paper won't tell you is the various different crop modes that it does, but I've looked at enough to kind of explain to you, right? This is how powerful and how ahead of its time, even against a camera that I highly respect and I use every single week, GH5/GH5S. This Fuji X-T3 is next level when it comes to video. Forget the photos, because photo-wise, it does bits. We're talking about up to 30 frames a second with 60 megapixel images that crops in 1.25 times. This is what it's able to do, right? Anyone that thinks 4K 60 is overrated is not. I actually want 4K 90, and me and Sean have talked about it in the past. It's not to output, but to have the option of slow motion, right? Not only does it do it in the ultra high definition, it does it in the DCI digital cinema incentives aspect ratio. So it's even wider. It uses all-out codec, and it's up to 30 frames a second. H.265, internal 10-bit 420, 400 megabits per second. Nuts, right? Ultra high definition, it can go all the way up to ultra high definition as well as the wide cinema 4K. 60 frames a second, 200 megabits per second, 10-bit. That's nuts. Not even a GH5, as great as the GH5 is, not even a GH5 can do that internally. And that's cinema wide. Crazy. The only thing is, when you're doing it in 4K 60, it does do a 1.18 times or 1.2 times crop. I think that's forgivable, especially when you're getting such high frame rate. And there's a recording limit of 20 minutes on there. Still very reasonable. But again, as you can see, when you output it, no issues. You get all the 422 10-bit, all the way up to ProRes, all uncompressed, ridiculous, right? And even then, look at the high definition. If you look at the high definition shooting modes, 1080p that everyone frowns on, right? With the 1080p, you're still getting 10-bit, 200 megabits per second. That's double the data rate of what Sony shoots at 4K. And it's still oversampled as well, which Sony doesn't oversample at 1080p. And they oversample at 4K as well, which is crazy, right? And you get that with all-out codec, which is bar. Same here. And also fully uncompressed when you do it to something like an Atomos Ninja V, which is what I use as my monitor, right? As well as that, even in slow motion gets a really, really nice bump, and it's 10-bit, very consistent. But you know what I'm liking? What I'm liking is the design and the durability. So what's really good about the Fuji system is it's so powerful that you don't get any weird quirks. And what I mean about no weird quirks is that not only can you power it over USB Type-C, not USB micro, not micro USB, which you still got it. I can't understand why Sony still put a micro USB on the 6000 series, the new ones. I really can't understand it. It's such a useless port. Like, I don't know who's still using micro USB. Let me find what I mean by movie recording. Bam, 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 bam. There we go. This is what I wanted to show, right? No screen blackout. So basically, no matter what screen recording and what recording modes that you're using, you don't get any blackout. Whether it just doesn't matter. You can simultaneously record internally and externally to your recorder, and this is sick. This is sick. Like, the sensor readouts on point. You get no rolling shutter. I feel that me looking at this now, the Fuji system is not perfect. There isn't a proper flip-up screen. Let me just go back. I will engage in the comments. Apologies that we're talking about cameras. I know you guys, but again, this is more for open floor, for kind of expressing what my plans are going to be, right? You don't get any weird quirks. Now, these are some of the downsides to the Fuji X-T3 system. You do need the battery grip, but the good thing about the battery grip is the battery grip allows you to house not just 2 batteries. Let me see if I can pull it up. Amazon Fuji So Fuji X-T3 battery grip. Okay, let me just switch it. Bang. So the good thing about the Fuji X-T3 battery grip, which is essential, 100% have to get it, several things. It not only allows you to have 2 batteries in there, but it's using electronic contact pins, and it allows you to keep an extra battery in the camera, which is good, because the non-official battery grips, which I don't think Sony does an official battery grip for the 6000 series, it only allows you, this uses a dummy system, and you can only house 2. On top of being able to have 2 and have 1 of you're running off 3 batteries, and it's got a DC out that comes with it where you can pretty much power it unlimited, which is so good. And because the SD card slot is not built next to the battery compartment, which it is on the Sony's, which is very annoying, it needs to be side mounted, you never have to take the battery grip up. It gives you more feel at the front, better ergonomics, and essentially because the battery life, and this is where the A6600 wins, nothing touches that when it comes to battery, right? Where it wins is that now it makes the battery performance on there exceptionally good, right? It's an essential. If you're going to get an X-T3, it's essential. X-T3 does not have a flip screen. X-T3 does not have in-body image stabilization. And I've looked at Fuji's lenses, and there's a lot of good ones, but there are a couple that don't have stabilization in there where you wish you had it. That's the trump. That's the trump. And because you don't have the flip screen, you do need a monitor to be able to self-monitor, where you don't with the 6400 and the 66. In itself, there's no additional things that you need on the 6600 apart from a hot shoe, cold shoe relocator, which is like 10, 20 pounds, right? By itself is good to go. Whereas the Fuji X-T3, it isn't. You have to be a bit more conscious, but it innovates because it has so much more technology. And I think with this X-T4 coming out, and apparently being announced on the 4th of February, even if they keep it the same price at 1,500 or make it a bit more expensive, right? I think they would have really, really, really done damage to Sony, because Sony right now look like they're gonna get caught out when it comes to complete tech. Now, it's not to say I don't love Sony, I'm gonna use them, but my plan is to still do this. My plan is to still use the A6600, because if you guys don't know, right? These 2 things are a deadly combo. This remote and the internal electronic power zoom lens on this f4 18-105 is amazing. It allows you to do dolly zooms with this, right? With the tracking autofocus, and it's crazy, right? For broadcasting, that having that power zoom electronic zoom with this remote is almost cheating. It's crazy. It's on point. And it's something that I'm just not willing to give up. It makes life not just easier, but it gives this very, very professional broadcast look of when you're zooming in and out without it stuttering. And it just tracks immensely perfectly. And that's something that with the power zoom lenses that you get on Sony, it's on touch and it works electronically with the remotes. With the autofocus, man, you're winning. But where I wanted to actually have it, because the Fuji system has great autofocus as well. Not Sony good, but it's pretty much good enough. I definitely want to have a Sony A6600 because I know that camera body by itself is good enough where I don't need to put an external monitor. I don't have to worry about extra batteries per se. Just need one extra battery potentially. I don't have to worry about whatever lens I put in it because I know I will get some form of stabilization. Audio monitoring is very good because obviously, again, you do have the headphone port in there, which is really, really good. And also you have true unlimited recording with exFAT file systems. So for example, if I was to record 3 hours straight and I had the storage and the power for it, it will create me a single file that is 3 hours long. That's it. It doesn't chop it up into pieces. Now, Fuji did fix it in a firmware update where you don't get your files breaking up in FAT32 4GB parts. It is a single file system, but it doesn't have unlimited recording. It doesn't. And it's something that I think is very important. It still behaves like your old traditional mirrorless cameras, which is things like, 29 minutes, 59 seconds, and, it's not continuous recording. Now, again, I will interact with the comments. I'm just trying to get through the camera talk so we can really chill and just have a little Q&A before we go. What Fuji needs to do to really make the X-T4 or the UHS-II really, really good, they need to put a proper flip out screen, personally, right? But if we even take that away, they do need to bring in-body image stabilization from the XH1, even if it's the same one, because that one works really, really good. They need to improve it. They need a new battery system. The batteries that they're using, they're deadbeat. They're not good. It's the same as the W batteries that you get in the 6400. As efficient as the camera's gotten, those battery systems are not good. Put a bigger battery, put a new battery. It helps with the ergonomics. It negates having to need a battery grip like what I showed you, right? They need to fix that. They need to definitely incorporate unlimited video recording and keep the same exFAT FileFAT system. But apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently it's meant to have 6K video at up to 60 frames a second, which I want to say is overkill, but I believe that they've got the processing power to do if they put a new processor in there. Personally, Blackmagic Pocket Camera 6K, that does 6K up to 50 frames a second. You're getting cameras like the 1DX coming out, showcasing the 5.5K. You've got cameras such as the C500 Mark II. Again, that's in a whole different league, showcasing the 6K output as well. Is it needed? No. I would rather them focus on putting DCI 4K or 4K UHD at up to 90 frames a second, personally. Or even 120 frames a second. People are going to think that's overkill, but if you look at the Zcam E2, anyone knows about the Zcam E2, that does 4K 160 frames a second, as well as 4K at 120 frames a second, depending on what aspect ratio that you pick. So the technology's there. I would rather them focus on a high frame rate 4K UHD or 4K DCI 90 or 120 frames a second than going 6K, personally. But who knows? And I would love to see higher than 120 frames a second, personally. If we could get 180 frames to match what the GH5 and the GH5S does 240 at 1080, to be fair, or some form of intermediary at 2K resolution or 2K plus resolution, quad high definition, where you're getting some form of HD, just like what you get on the Blackmagic 6K, I think that would be better energy spent. I think the 6K is, I don't know, correct me. I think even for me, it's a bit overkill. But I think they've got the processing power to do it. I just feel like it would be better to concentrate the processing power on high frame rate 4K, which would be much better. So that's my opinion. And that's where I am right now. My aim is to have the Fuji a Fuji system to work with, whether it's the X-T4, the X-T3, and the A6600. It's weird. You ideally want two systems that are the same. One's going to be my dedicated photo horse. One's going to be my dedicated workhorse for video, right? But the good thing is they intertwine and they can work either way based on what the situation needs, right? So that's what my plan is. The Fuji system is an imperfect system that you love. Whereas the Sony system, especially the 6600, it's a system that is a workhorse that you really, really like, but you struggle to love because the simplicity of it leaves the options limited, you know? Not having different codecs, not having H.265, not having 10-bit, you know, not having all-I codec, not having 60 frames a second, not to output, but to have the option to slow down that high resolution, even if they applied a 1.2 or 1.3 times crop. I think it's missed opportunities low key, but at the same time, it is the most complete and usable APS-C system for a mirrorless camera that you can buy on the market right now. And with the current price drop, where it's cheaper than buying an X-T3, you can't go wrong. 6600 all day. And the E-mount lens system collection, in terms of first-party support, is on par with Fuji. I think Fuji has a better first-party native mount system for APS-C, definitely. But third-party support from Sigma, Tamron, Rokinon, Viltrox now, right? I think Sony E-mount is better, and Sony E-mount is way more cohesive because it ties into full frame and their cinema cameras as well, which Fuji don't have a full frame. They've got medium format, so there's nothing in between. It's APS-C medium format, and you can't intertwine those lenses, personally. So I'm in love with the Fuji X-T3. I'm in love with the Fuji system. I think that's a camera system I'm more excited to explore and get into, especially with the X-T4 coming out. And all that's going to do is it's going to make the old systems cheaper. It's going to make things cheaper. Manufacturers are going to have to drop their prices to compete to make people buy, because people are more eager to switch, 100%. And I'm not going to completely switch. I love what Sony are doing. I am going to be a Sony shooter. I definitely love the A6. I've definitely really like the A6600 system. It's going to save me a lot of hassle, where I know, for example, with my 64, when I'm using it, in a lot of situations when I need to monitor audio, I have to wing it, risk it, or put a monitor on there. As much as I love using a monitor, it's not every time I want to use a monitor. Doesn't mean I'm going to get rid of my Atomos Ninja V. No, I'm going to get an SDI extension, because we have SDI cameras at church that we use for broadcasting, and it's just an essential tool, and it's an investment that having a good monitor that you can use to monitor is great. And I'm going to have some client shoots that I'm going to be doing where I'm going to be using cameras that output to SDI, and I want to be able to use my own tool for monitoring that's going to make me feel comfortable, because I know how to use it and get things like right color accuracy, right exposure for log, right exposure because the brightness and what I'm seeing is correct, you know. So yeah, I kind of wanted to share that, man. So I'm going to go into the comments and I'm going to see if anyone understood what I was saying when it came to cameras, anyone that, you know, is on the camera game, and I'm going to try and answer the questions in there for anyone that is into that. So Slap Patel, same. I agree, the camera on the OnePlus 7T Pro is alright, but video recording on wide is pretty low quality. Yeah, true. I figured out this is a show on the new Samsung and OnePlus, and I'll tamper with the excitement of the Realme X2 Pro. Oh, no. I didn't want to cut you off. I've done so many live streams in the past and so many videos on the Realme X2 Pro. It's unreal. So I just wanted to educate you that it's the company breakdown is not, you're close in terms of, oh, it's from Oppo, this is that, but Realme are doing great things and there's similarities 100%. And anyone that's got Realme X2 Pro, man, you banked. And Android 10 is probably coming Q2 of this year. You're laughing even more. Difference between mirrorless and regular. So regular is what you're referring as DSLR, digital single lens reflex cameras. And all the cameras that you see, from cinema cameras to obviously smartphones, they're all mirrorless. That means there isn't a mirror box that's built in, you know, so you can see through what is known as an electronic viewfinder. So where you put your eye cup to is electronic. So as you're making changes, you can see exactly what you're exposing for. Now with DSLRs, because there's a mirror box in there, the lens is covered, so the sensor's covered, so there's better protection. But you look through an optical viewfinder, which you see what the environment looks like, but you don't see how your picture's going to look until after you've taken it. It's just a slightly older design, and it just effectively means there's a bigger, you know, design, because there's a mirror box in there for the shutter to go up and down, shutter to go up and down. Yeah, in simple terms. A6600 is love. I'm definitely going to get it. I'm 100% going to switch to it. But whereas I was planning to use the 6600 and the 6400, I want the Fujifilm system to really appeal to my creative side and give me more creative options, not just for shooting video but also for shooting photos, because it's a great photography camera, fantastic photography camera. You have slightly higher megapixels at 26.1, not much of a difference. Those extra 2 megapixels, are you really going to notice it? We have a much faster sensor readout as well, less rolling shutter, much more stable. And when you're in mechanical, 11 frames a second, sports viewfinder mode, 20 frames a second, and with electronic shutter, 30 frames a second with continuous autofocus. That's insane. That is insane. You know, so that's really good. That's a really good look. Finally, they got the 6400. I'm loving it. Nice. I came with the DJI Ronin 2. Nice. Sick. 6400 crew. What's good? You like the DJI Ronin? What up, T? What up, Savage? Yes. I've not tested it yet, but I'm predicting I'll love it a lot. Nice, man. Give us some update when you do. Is that one bigger than the Osmo Mobile 3? Yeah, the Ronin is like a proper big gimbal. I have an old LG. Yes. What's up, man? It's a beast for sure. Yes. How much did you pay for that lens? Which lens is? So I've got the Sigma f1.4 60mm, and I've got the 30mm. Funny enough, the 30mm is my favorite Sigma lens so far. I like it more than the 60mm, and I'll probably do a video on it why. But this is my workhorse lens, the zoom lens here. Thanks, technically. I like myself. 6400 is good enough until I get good enough to want to move to the successor of the. Yep. Anyone, please hold off. Do not get the A7 III right now. Wait till about March and April when they announce the A7 IV. Then, if you want to get the A7 III because it's going to be cheaper, or get the A7 IV because it's going to be well priced enough. Do not get the A7 III right now unless you're getting on a really dumb deal. I think just wait. The A7 IV is going to be announced. Once Sony announced the A7R4, the A7 IV is just around the corner. It's been almost 2 years. The A7 III was announced April 2018. It's almost been 2 years. Just wait for the A7 IV. Even if you're not going to get the A7 IV, wait for it to come out. Wait for it to be announced. A7 III is going to be even cheaper because there's going to be a lot of crazy people going to be getting rid of that system to get the A7 IV. So just wait. Don't get the A7 III right now. Master the 6400, you can't go wrong. Who price? That's that I'm still nah man, that's actually really good. Yeah, it is. I know I was gonna get that lens, but I went for the Sigma 14 and that would be great replacement. Hey dude, yeah, what's good, Jermaine? Concept creating a house, what's good, man? I'm guessing off the cuff as I listened to a few camera info videos and some of the lenses that came up there. My ex was into photography, but he's got his equipment in Germany. Dollars, yeah. Oh, Leica, Germany. It's okay. I did not notice that it was the same lens I was looking for. Yep, the color was 7 until Q2, but not until Q2. Yeah, Q2. Realme did put a roadmap tweet out that they're going to be getting Android 10 on the Realme X2 Pro, Realme X2 Pro Q2 2020 this year. So somewhere between April to June. Yeah, that's Q2. Whew. That's it. That is it. So the show floor is open to you guys for about 5 minutes or more. Let's hit a Q&A. Ask me anything tech related, yada yada yada. Ask away, man. So pretty much rounding it up, main topic tonight was in the title. It was really rounding up and showcasing officially what OnePlus and the CEO Pete Lau has been showcasing, the new 120Hz technology that's coming to their new devices. But it's not just about the refresh rate, it's about everything that encompasses around just the refresh rate, but the brightness, the color accuracy, the panel technology, the screen partnership, also features that we didn't really know about that was used in high-end TVs that's coming in, which is the MEMC technology with frame insertion, interpolation, and filling, which is really good. And pretty much what sets it apart, and the fact that they're going to be able to do that while still maintaining high resolution on AMOLED as well, which is really good and matched up to what we've been seeing in the leaks of the wind-back of Max of the S20 series. The S20, not because of hardware reasons, but because of software reasons, by the looks of it, from Samsung, are going to separately be separating QHD Plus with 120. It's going to be either or. So, and yeah, camera talk. Camera talk is really kind of like what I use, what my aim is, and what I'm really paying attention to see, which I'm really excited to see what happens with the Fuji X-T4 or the Fuji XH2. It could be the XH2 that gets announced, because that's an even older system than the X-T3. So yeah, that wraps it up. Any questions? Any questions, my peoples? Any questions? Man, but appreciate all the super chats. Got a shout out to Tanner Dust, Tanner. I still say Tanner Dust. Tanner so lit, big bro like Tanner. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Sean B nice. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for the super chat, bro. Always the support. And the everyday dad, guys, man, appreciate the super chat. Thank you for coming through, Gary. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Much love, man. And for everyone that was engaging. Troll that is Adrian. You know I wouldn't want you any other way, Adrian. It's all love. Technically T, Apple Monster, Alex Langley, Damien, I didn't see Glenn tonight, man. I hope, Glenn, you're good. Days one, thank you, man, for being very engaging in the comments. Trenton Marshall as well, aka Mr. Tech Fan himself. Jeremy, giving all the shouts to people. Kimmy, thank you. Gadgets Goodness, thank you for being in there as well. Travis MCP, thank you for coming, Trav. Appreciate it coming through. Tariq Patel as well. Savage Scientist, man. Dr. Donna Walter, thank you as well for coming through. Really engaging tonight, man. Concepts Creator, aka Jermaine, what's good? This has been a fabulous live stream. Having my creds from Cambridge. This is night. This is a night for you, Dave. For many of your comment section, perfect timing. I'm sure you planned it around the time zone, but yeah, it's literally just after I put the kids to sleep at 7:30 on a Sunday, 8 o'clock. I tried to get a stream in. That is it. Savage Scientist. Oh, again, bro, thank you so much, man. Thank you again. Part of the super chat. I'm gonna try and do something special for you guys that do super chats, man. I really, really appreciate it. I try, again, like I always say, the best part is just to be an open platform for my creator buddies. If you want to come on, man, let me know. It's always better to get a different perspective on these topics. And but again, as a solo, if I'm doing it as a solo show, I try to articulate, I try to make it as engaging, I try to make it as informative as possible, because I'm someone that, for all the new people here, I'm someone that likes the details. I like to go in depth. It's something that excites me. It's something that I find interesting, but I try to also make it as engaging as possible, right? I try to have fun with you guys. I try to make sure that all your comments are engaged with, and I try to make it where you guys know. And I also try to present it in the best quality possible, audio as well as video, because that really matters to me. I think that's what sets my streams apart from other people, is making sure that the quality presentation is there, so that when you watch it and you're watching it, and also when you play it back, it does not feel like you're watching a live stream. It feels like you're watching a long stream podcast. And I hope genuinely you guys appreciate that, man. It's something that I always say, it like, live streams don't necessarily grow the channel as I would like. I know what grows this channel specifically, but for me, live streams are the best. It's the one I look forward to. It gives me way more room to really stretch my legs, to really go in depth and talk about a topic. And the organic engagement I get from you guys as my audience is what makes it on point. And I wouldn't replace that for anything. I wouldn't replace that for anything. So I always say it, man. Thank you for tuning in to the last Tech and Chill stream in this location. When it's back on, next week it's not. I might do a sneaky one maybe during the week. Hopefully, if there's enough news to talk about during the week. But when it's back, and it's back, first week of February, we're going to be in a new place. And I'm really, really excited to see that I'm going to be able to create with more space. Dedicated space, man. Always set up, always ready. So if I get ideas, boom, bang, get it out. So I'm hoping I can really, really do that, man. So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it, guys. So I'm going to be checking out. This is a fabulous group. Thank you. You're also excited about the subject, and it comes through. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you guys can see it, man. You can't fake it. Can't fake it. You got to make sure you come out genuine. Ryan. Ryan, you've got such perfect timing, man. Perfect timing when we are just ending. Ryan Thomas from Android Authorities in the house, man. Liverpool's title chances, Ryan. Mate, Liverpool are pretty wanted. Like, as a Man United supporter, man, they killed us 2-0. Liverpool are probably going to do an undefeated season this season, for sure. I think they'll win the championship by April, easily. They've gone away with it, man. Liverpool they're just a beast team at the minute. Yeah, guys. Oh, lads, behave. Don't just pick on Ryan. So yeah, Alex. I hope you're happy that I did praise the Fuji X-T3 system, and I will be picking that up, or the X-T4 alongside my workhorse, which is still Sony. So yeah, I know you're gonna be happy with that. Leads are falling apart, which warms my heart. Do you know what hurts me, right? Do you know what hurts me, Damien? Yeah, Leeds back in the day when Rio Ferdinand was there, Leeds used to be a Champions League team, you know. They were a top 4 team. Effie, they were a top 3 team. Top 2 even. The Leeds that I remember, man. Lee Bowyer days, fam. Leeds were a team. It's mad. It's mad. Things just change, like. The reason Liverpool players don't drive is because their wheels are nicked. Oh, what is it about Liverpool and wheels just getting nicked? My son's name is Damien. Did spelling, yes, from Steppenwolf. To say about donations, I see. F of Damien, F of Ryan. Oh, yes, lads. Absolutely, yes, lads. Oh, man. Guys, thank you so much. If there's no further questions, I'm going to leave the floor open for another 2 minutes. And then I'll do the intro, the outro track, and we'll call it a night. We'll call it a night. Oh, man. Although everyone is welcome to come to Leeds, I'll show you around. I can't type fast enough with the delay. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Alright, we're going to close it out, man. Guys, thank you so much, man. Much love again. Thank you for tuning in to Sunday night's Tech and Chill show Unplugged. Again, your host, Ben, from the Lover of Tech channel. Hopefully, now that you've seen it, I think it's worth me saying that if you do like this type of long form content, as well as all the other content that I do on here, from vlogs, reviews, to comparisons, be sure to subscribe, hit it up, man. Turn on the notifications. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it. So, signing out. Peace. Have a great one.